Omar, no, Omar, no! Omar, you're gonna fall down!
This was an incredibly joyous moment for Taha Salahuddin. He hadn't seen his two young sons for nearly 2 years, and not because he didn't want to. His ex-wife was the reason why. She had simply refused to let 7-year-old Omar and 5-year-old Zaid see their dad because she claimed he was sexually abusing them. Multiple investigations have proven that wasn't true. These fake rape allegations are part of a bitter 4-year-long custody battle that brings us our latest case of family injustice.
It's a nightmare. It's like a living nightmare that you're in and day out. Like, what's my oldest son thinking? Where's my dad gone?
After their divorce, Taha was granted standard possession, like a lot of guys, every other weekend and Thursday night visitation. But court records show Ilma often refused to turn the children over, and the courts have simply refused to punish her. Taha filed his first enforcement complaint with the 309th District Court 3 years ago, alleging Ilma had violated the court's visitation order, get this, 22 times in just the first year. It was still happening this year when he finally came to Dolcefino Consulting for help.
And this happens all the time. I'll go months and months without seeing my sons.
Dada!
And when he did get rare chances to see his sons, Taha claims the boys' mother had brainwashed them into thinking he'd hurt them, so they didn't want to go with him. The ugly custody exchanges often caught on video.
You were not even supposed to be here for the judge. You were supposed to drop and leave. Continue to traumatize my sons.
The custody fight got so bad, the court ordered the parents to meet at a local police station so they could simply exchange the kids in front of a police officer. Even then, Ilma was reluctant to let the kids go over to their dad.
Y'all have to abide by it. Okay, what's going on is called tit for tat.
Taha is now facing a battle many fathers of divorce are forced to fight. Family courts appear to go out of their way to favor mom when deciding who gets custody.
I want the courts to treat me like a human being, but look at the facts. And then act accordingly. Don't be so biased.
But this case exposes another real problem. One parent making up false allegations against the other to justify ignoring visitation, to sway the court. How common is it?
It's roughly in 1 out of 2 high conflict divorces. In roughly half of the cases, you will see a false allegation of abuse.
Dr. Alan Blocky wrote this article, The Weaponization of False Allegations of Abuse, back in July of 2022.
The damage is that in most of these false allegations of abuse, a child is involved in that false allegation of abuse. So the damage is really to the child.
And typically the allegations are meant to damage the father. In Taha's case, a court-appointed psychotherapist testified it was clear that Taha's ex was making up false allegations of sexual abuse. Quoting, one party wants to win so badly that there's a concerted effort to make the other parent look bad. Taha says the sexual abuse allegations began after he filed for divorce in April of 2018. And not just against him. His ex-wife claimed Taha's parents were sexually abusing the children too.
I don't want them to think that I ever did anything bad to them.
He says the stress gave his 65-year-old mom a stroke. CPS records show the ex-wife waited more than a year after she claimed the abuse began to first report it to Child Protective Services. But Taha's oldest son, he made an outcry too. It was investigated by both the Children's Advocacy Center and Child Protective Services. In their final report, the advocacy investigator wrote Omar appeared to be coached by mother. And the investigator for CPS said in her report that the mother's main goal in this is to attack the father and his character. Both investigations concluded that neither of the boys had been sexually abused. Taha says the damage has already been done.
It's like a constant state of depression, constant state of sadness, like nothing's ever going to be right. Start doubting yourself, you start questioning everything about yourself, and you're like, why me? What did I do so wrong?
To this day, Taha's ex has never been sanctioned by the court for any of the false sexual abuse allegations. And when it comes to her violating the court-ordered visitation, Taha says she only gets a slap on the wrist.
The court will punish her, will give me 20 makeup days. I will see them for 20 days straight. And then whenever she says, I'm done, she'll stop letting me see them.
Despite his ex making up horrible false allegations and repeatedly being ordered by the court to allow visitation, the 309th District Court has refused to give Taha full custody of his children.
I'm about family. I'm about fairness, justice, dignity, and respect.
On her campaign website, Judge Linda Marie Dunson likes to point out that she was raised by a single mother, and Taha believes the judge has it out for dads.
Very biased against men.
Judge Dunson says she didn't want to talk to us. In August, Taha and Ilma went back to court for yet another battle in their fight over the kids. But this time, Judge Dunson wasn't on the bench. Instead, Associate Judge Kiana Mans heard this bitterly contested custody fight. Taha's lawyers had objected before to that. I don't blame them for complaining one bit. Associate judges are not elected. They are not directly accountable to the voters, and they should not have the power to take away your children. Texas lawmakers should fix that. During the most recent hearing, Taha's attorney asked he be given full custody again, and he had to practically beg the associate judge to even find out where his children were going to school. His ex-wife wouldn't tell him.
The past 4 years, we got nowhere with the support.
But once again, the court only told his ex again to allow visitation, but doing nothing to make sure it happened.
Ilma, can you tell me, are you going to start following the court's order on visitation?
To find out, we went along to see if Taha was going to get his boys this time for the weekend, as ordered by the court. He did get his visitation this time, and the boys were all smiles. Until next time.